Hey guys, how you doing? It's Henry, and Mowers and Blowers. Welcome to another episode. Walking my dog Boba today, and I saw a basketball in the garbage. Perfectly good basketball. Spalding too. Same kind they use in the NBA. On the ball, it says, never flat. It does have a hole for pumping it up. So why do they have a hole for pumping it up if it's never flat? Obviously, it's flat. How do they get away with that kind of advertising? Kind of like the Toro recyclers. This is a Kohler XT675. And on the cover, it says, guaranteed to start? How can you say it guaranteed to start? So if it's guaranteed to start, then this should just pull and start. Otherwise I get my money back, right? That's what guaranteed to start means. I guarantee it won't start. Does that sound like guaranteed to start to you? How do they get away with it? Who's gonna answer to this? So I got this mower for free! Free! That's right, free. From my friend Rob from Holbrook. This has got a little bit of a story to it. So I actually worked on this mower a couple of years ago because subscriber Rob from Holbrook had 4 mowers. 3 of them were busted along with the 4th one. The 4th one being this guaranteed to start Toro recycler. It's a good machine, you know what I mean? So he was gonna give me the mowers. The condition was that I get to keep 3 if I fix the 4th one and give it back to him as his backup to his lawn tractor, which I did. I remember I did quite a lot of things to this mower before I fixed it completely and gave it back to Rob. And then recently, he picked up a nice, really modern, recent type Craftsman lawnmower, push mower that he found on the street. So he was gonna keep that. And when I went to go to a gun show recently, he had found a Toro bagger that he knew I needed for an episode, but I had since already sold that machine without the bagger for good money, so I had to sell it. Either way, I have an extra bagger now for a Toro, which is fantastic. Anyway, he decided just to give me this one because he said something about the carburetor gasket going bad or leaking or something like that, and it no longer starts. So he gave it to me, and today I'm gonna get it fixed because we're in the heart of spring to summer transition, and it's a good time to sell mowers, so I wanted to get this going. Not to mention it's sitting in my garage for like a week, and I need to get it out of there because you can't even walk in my garage, you know? Oh, what else is new? And of course now it's starting to rain. The second I come out, get ready to fix a mower, it starts to rain, or those crazy landscapers start to leaf blow. It's always the way it happens. I don't really have any room to work on this thing in my garage. Gonna have to move some things around. Okay, I moved some stuff around. I'm surprised I have so much room now, actually. So anyway, let's troubleshoot this, huh? Let's see if there's any gas in here. It is bone dry. Let's check the Earl. We've got a little bit up to the add line. You just tried starting it, wouldn't start. Let's take the air cleaner off and blow some jism in there. Flap is closed on choke. Got some Sure Start premium starting fluid, 50% ether. The reason why you use 50% ether and not 100% ether is very harsh and abrasive. So that's why it's only 50% ether, but it's very combustible as compared to carb cleaner. So if you're gonna get some starts, ether is the way to go. There we go. Let's see if we put gas in it, does it leak? Got a vice grip here, just in case it does leak and you need to clamp off the fuel line so it doesn't leak all the gas I'm putting in here right now. But since the complaint was that the gasket for the carburetor was bad, I'm anticipating a leak. So far I don't see anything at all. It's not leaking so far. Let's see if it starts up and runs on its own with just gas. These Kohler engines is that the brake pad mechanism that touches the flywheel is made out of semi-metallic. You don't use it very much, it rusts up and corrodes, not making a good contact round between the brake pad and the flywheel. Happens a lot. So you just let it run until the rotation of the flywheel slowly grinds off the rusted material on the semi-metallic brake pad, and then it makes contact, creating a ground, therefore shutting off the mower. But honestly, guys, what's the problem here? There is a little bit of residue here. You see, it's just since been dripping, so there is a leak in the carburetor somewhere, but it starts up just fine and it has trouble stopping. But now that we just supposedly grinded down that brake pad, it did stop on its own. Let's start it back up again and see if it stops on its own. As you see now, it does stop on its own because we've cleaned that brake pad on the brake kill mechanism. So I think the only thing here is we've probably got a bad gasket, or we have a leak in the carburetor. A little bit, not a whole lot of fuel, you know what I mean? But other than that, this thing runs like a champ. Started on its first pull. Because I don't have extra Kohler gaskets lying around, I might have to just replace the entire carburetor with a new one. I just received one from my friends over at Hipa. As you can see, even on a angle, because I want to point the carburetor right at me when I'm working on it with a block of wood, you can see the leakage of gas is becoming more substantial. Fortunately, my friends over at Hipa have all kinds of small engine repair components and parts readily available for a very nominal price. Quick shipping, because they're actually based in
Wilmington, Delaware.
And so they sent me a kit that has the original air filter, a fuel filter, which is meant for a lawn tractor. Not even a lawnmower. Actually, for lawnmowers, you don't even need a fuel filter because usually the gas tank has a little mesh filter on it. You can put it on if you want, but it's not very common. This is actually the wrong fuel filter for this kit. A couple of hose clamps, gives you a fuel line as well. Here's the kit, vacuum sealed in a bag. And there be the carburetor, brand new. Now, Kohler XT675s actually have maybe 3 different versions for your Toro recycler or Lawn Boy, whatever. The top is how you figure it out. You see that metal 90-degree angle metal plate here? That's the most telltale sign about how to order it. The other two don't have that, okay? There are slight differences. So make sure when you order your carburetor from Hipa, or anybody else for that matter, check your carburetor and make sure that it has those distinguishing marks, such as the metal angle thing here. I remember from 2 years ago when I fixed this thing that there was this kind of carburetor with the metal angled bracket on here. So they sent me the right one, hopefully. Anyway, this is brand new. To make this repair very easy, instead of messing with gaskets and checking where the leaks are, slip that on and you're done. Or Dunsky. But that's not a good Dunsky part to say Dunsky, because Dunsky means bad. If this is on, it's done good, not done bad. So removing this carburetor from this Kohler engine is kind of a pain. Why? Because it's actually is an auto choke, right? Which means that there's a linkage attached to the thermostat on the other side of the muffler. So sometimes it's really hard to remove the carburetor without first disengaging that linkage first. But this air cleaner just comes off. You just pull it or put it to the side or something like that. It seems okay. And I want to kind of ascertain where the leak is coming from. Is it just the nut, which I feel like it is? Because you feel around the nut and it's wet and drippy. You feel around the bowl though. Do you feel, I can't tell, feel around the bowl. That way you can tell if it's the bowl gasket that's leaking, or is it the nut? It's wet on the sides, which means that it's seeping from the sides of the bowl gasket here. So like I said, I don't really have spare gaskets. So I think we're just gonna change it, even though this carburetor is clean, because it runs on its own, meaning it's not dirty. But we have gasket deterioration, so the fuel in it is leaking out, which is a pain. You could just put a fuel shutoff on this fuel line, but that's not really operating procedure, you know? So as you can see, you have a Z-bend over here that's attached to the choke lever mechanism. And as you can see, it's very clear that you have the 90-degree angled metal bracket on top of the carburetor, so you know that we have the right carburetor for this. Some other models do not have that. So you order that one and you're like, well, that doesn't look like that. Where does that hook onto now, you know? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first disconnect this linkage, which is the throttle linkage, right? You just bend this forward a little bit, lift that up, and comes right out, along with the thinner wired tensioner linkage, and that attaches to right here. And there's a little hole over here for the smaller one. Then we can take that fuel clamp off. You might have to stop the fuel from flowing right over here when you disconnect the fuel line to the carburetor. There you go. That fuel line's still pretty rubbery and nice. Now to just remove the carburetor this way, straight out, but it's hard because it's attached to the Z-bend here. So you can't even pull it because there's like 2 inches left of this rod. There's no way this is going to stretch 2 inches, you know what I mean? So that was the problem. It's not easy. Gonna have to take this off. Fortunately, they're really easy to take off. The bolts are 10 millimeter. This one has debris in it, so it's hard to get to. This cover comes right off. Set that aside. As you can see, there's quite a lot of rust on the flywheel that was causing the brake pad to be to not ground the flywheel because there's so much rust and corrosion built up over time. But then after you have this brake touch the flywheel while it's turning, eventually it'll rub off the rust off of this brake pad, create the ground contact, and therefore it kills the engine. So, you know, just if that happens to you, just let it run until it stops on its own. So here we look. We have this part that's connected to the thermostat over here. So we're gonna just turn this, bend that a little so that it disengages from the thermostat linkage right there, just like that. See, I'm actually going to take this off too because I don't want to lose it. Right, just like that, and we'll just put this back so we know where it went. And then the carburetor comes off just like that. So easy. So now I can actually tell where the fuel is leaking from. Oh yeah, I could see. The gasket is pinched. So I don't know if I did that or maybe Rob did that. I'm not sure. But it could happen to anybody. It's just a mistake. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I didn't do this because this actually has like some kind of an extra gasket that somebody created to stop the leaks. It was a gallant effort, but if it's not original, it's not going to work. So we'll save this carburetor for another time when I run into another situation like this and I have good gaskets, but the carburetor is rusted or something like that. So I'll leave this in my box of parts. We'll use this next time, but today we're going to replace it with the brand new carburetor from Hipa. So you can compare it. They are identical. Identical. This one says Kohler. This one doesn't say anything except for a bunch of numbers. Oh, this one actually says Hipa. And as you can see from the top, the most important is that it matches because it has this metal 90-degree angled bracket bar. So, easy fix, right? Actually, I shouldn't say easy fix until it's actually fixed. So actually, it didn't come with any gaskets, which is unusual because I usually get gaskets with the kit. But it's a good thing, though, that this gasket still looks good. So we're going to take this linkage again from the thermostat. Take it off like that. Slip it right on like here. Stick this linkage. Actually, we need to put the carburetor back on. That just slips in like that. Right. Now bend this linkage back on here again. Snaps right in there. Okay. Now take the little one, stick it in that hole. Turn this way. Bend this to fit on the top there. Goes in. Boom. Just like that. Now we've got the throttle linkage onto the governor lever. We have the choke onto the thermostat to the muffler. We attach the fuel line back onto the carburetor. The tension of the hose clamp onto the carburetor so that it doesn't leak. Boom. That's it. Take this fuel filter base, put it back onto the two studs. It has the accompanying gaskets. Make sure there's no binding. That moves freely and opens and closes the choke flap. The governor opens and closes the throttle with no binding. Millimeter nuts that go onto the carburetor stud, 10mm impact socket on a 3/8 impact gun. And there's some dust that vibrated into this area here, which is no good because the carburetor will suck up any kind of debris. I'm actually worried about that because I see that there is dust there. So I'm actually going to cover up the hole. Use a brush and get that out of the way. That's nice. So I mean it. Because the carburetor acts like a vacuum cleaner, the mouth, once it's open and the engine's running, anything in this area is going to get sucked into the carburetor. So if you have all this dust and grime and debris over here, it's going to go right into your carburetor, clog your jets, and you're going to have to take this all apart again because it's going to clog your jets. It's not going to run. So right now, we're going to release the hounds. Release the hounds is letting the fuel get in there. I'm going to drop this to level, take the block out, see if it leaks. But it's a new carburetor, so it shouldn't leak. Put the cover back. Well, you can inspect everything. I mean, nothing to it. Everything looks clean. You're not looking for any... Ooh. Got a business card here. So somebody was doing something with the magneto, changed it or whatever, and they were doing the air gap for the flywheel. Since I don't recognize this card, it's probably not me. Or maybe it is me, who knows. Anyway, this might have gotten in the way of it stopping, right? If this was there, it's not making any contact with the flywheel. But I doubt it though, it's been 2 years. Anyway, I got a free business card. Scores! Just to make sure we don't have any leaks, I'm gonna cleanly wipe this area clean so that if we see any drips, we can clearly see where it's coming from. And I don't see or feel any leaks. Put my hand under here. There's no leaks at all. Nice and dry. So I guess it's kind of safe. We can put this on. We could actually put this on anyway because we were just inspecting this area with the cover off. But look, everything seems good. I don't really find any problems here. If you put it up to the sky, the light, and you can see through it, it's good. That is a trick that I learned from Donnie Boy. You guys know who Donnie Boy is. Nobody really talks about Donnie Boy anymore, but he was the pioneer of small engine repair. Actually, I've watched all his videos. That's how I know how to do things.
Mowers and blowers.
Mowers and blowers. I don't have any formal small engine repair training at all. The only training I've had is watching YouTube videos from Donnie Boy. Like I said, we'll keep this old carby for next time. They say carby in the UK. All right. Let's go. What do you guys think? First pull. Chick-fil-A sauce?
You should really try the mango passion fruit seasonal beverage. It's half sweet tea, half lemonade.
So we need to grind down that flywheel. There's the condition of the flywheel. As you can see, there's like a dark ring or area where the brake pad is causing this black ring, almost like rubber. Not rubber, rubber. and so it's not making really good contact with the flywheel since the flywheel is very rusty. So I'm gonna get a wire wheel on a drill and clean that flywheel up so that it's gonna be metal on semi-metallic brake pad contact. As you can see, even though it does run just fine, and obviously it sounds great because it's getting great spark, the magneto looks like it's been left outdoors. A lot of moisture. As you can see, that's the new carby. And there's no leaks. As you saw, I grinded the flywheel clean of the rust. So hopefully now it'll stop on its own when you let go. So it just needs a contact to ground to kill. That's it. So all that stuff that was around the flywheel was not making a good ground contact. A lot of people don't know that the brake pad is semi-metallic, and it just simply touching the flywheel with that friction creates the ground. Pretty cool, actually.
For the win! Got it!
So as you saw, not only did I win the NBA championship with that last second field goal, we got this Toro Recycler 22-inch front self-propelled lawnmower with a Kohler XT675 engine for free. That's right, free from my friend Robert from Holbrook. Thanks, Rob. Also, thank you to Hipa for the brand new carburetor that popped right on, no problems, right? It was like the easiest carburetor replacement ever. Well, with the exception of the auto choke thermostat linkage was a little tricky, but now you know how to do it. Very easy to work on these Kohler engines, and I like them. This thing runs great, has no leaks, and also we cleaned out the flywheel of the rust, so now it makes contact with the brake mechanism, and it starts, mows, and shuts off, no problem. It's an excellent condition mower. I just washed it up with some super clean and also rinsed it off with my fire extinguisher because my hose is really far away. I gotta go get that out just to rinse it. Whatever. I just took some pictures on the lawn while it's glistening and shining from the water, and then I think I'm gonna list this for $325. I know, that's crazy, but my buddy Jason over there, the same mower, he's listing it for $350. Gotta keep it around that area. That way both of us will get that sale. Hey, you're not gonna get $325 if you don't list it for $325, right? Some nut will buy it. And if I gotta hold on to it all summer, I don't care. I only have like 2 or 3 mowers to sell anyway. I only have 3 lawn tractors to sell, so my inventory is very low. So I want to get top dollar for each of them. Hope you guys enjoyed the easy fix video. Guaranteed to start. What are you, nuts? Never flat on the ball? What are you, crazy? How can they make a guarantee like that? Why isn't there a class action lawsuit going on against Spalding and Toro? Hope you guys will subscribe, share, and like. Also push that notification bell so that you don't miss any episodes. Stay tuned for the brake repair on the Dayton tractor and also the troubleshooting of my new John Deere LT160 coming up soon. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers.
This guy screwed this up. I'm gonna
See you guys next time on Mowers.
Blowers.